or a church or even a family. You become the quote unquote black sheep. So this is what I think is interesting about when you look at ideology, people who are willing to subjugate themselves to a group, be it a family or a church or any kind of community, they're going to get more support. And people who want to be, the biker, the loner, the lone wolf, they're not going to get it. They're going to have to do it on their own.
Yeah, tribes are tribes. We get it.
Well, a lone wolf is not a tribe.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said tribes are tribes. Try to keep up.
Man, you're insufferable, Iconoclast, I swear.
Whoever's snoring, mute them, please.
Yeah,
Yeah, right back at you, Tail.
Find the marshmallow, I think.
Got it.
He's just loving this, listening to us all fight in the background.
Well, because this goes back to this idea of atheism. Like atheism, they don't want a god. They don't believe in a god. They don't want to subjugate themselves to some other higher ideal, some higher idea.
Authority.
But then they've got this problem. They got this problem of like, well, wait, hold on a second. Wait, what? Where am I going to get support when I break my leg or something happens? Because my family doesn't want anything to do with me anymore.
Sure,
because I'm, I don't need you. I don't need God. I don't need anything. I don't need anyone.
You break your leg and you turn to God.
Call
That's
that
what you do.
Yeah, but
I'd go to the hospital.
That's as much a three-letter.
God is the true doctor.
Oh my fuck! It's his tail. It's his, when you say where do you turn to God or whatever. God there is no more than a three-letter word compared to just appealing to something like the evolutionary nature of survival and wanting to carry on. Family helps you, or you find a way. Right? It doesn't have to involve a god, but does have to involve perseverance, maybe, and
Hey, if you ever break your leg
and
don't go to the hospital,
I think that's what evolution puts in place. And a good point about breaking your leg is to shoot horses when the horse broke their leg, and that's why too expensive to fix it.
Yep.
I mean, we do that with dogs, right? Your dog gets sick, most people just put it down.
What a freaking bummer.
Board and shame it. Abuse prime the fuck out of that dog till it sinned or something.
Or you take your hamster to the vet and get a surgery on your hamster.
Well, I have a friend who I think they were spending $12,000 a month keeping their dog alive, the family dog. But then again, they could afford it, so that might be more of a you problem. Like if you're poor, yeah, your dog's
skill issue.
Like,
well, if it's
that isn't that uncommon.
I brought my dog to the vet. They wanted me to bring it to the dog dentist.
Was that like a take from a Calvinist or something? You're either chosen to have the money to save your dog or you don't.
Dog dentist isn't a thing, is it?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Oh, it's got to be. I mean, we've got dog insurance. Dog dentists have to be a thing.
But no, the vet just does it. The dental.
Well, of course, specialized vet that got really popular and has those.
Well, they used to do it in the dark ages, aka 50 years ago.
They have the dog collars made by Corsi in the lobby. Yeah. You can pick out a nice one for you for Christmas.
I mean, I think, wasn't there, this could be totally untrue, but I recently heard someone that there was a law that's being put up that dogs are considered family.
Never heard about that.
Hey, why not? The ATF is not going to like that.
I have an argument against
members
this
now, but not fetuses. Got it.
Well, I think they can be.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
they can be. Well, is it if the dog survives, they can give an inheritance to the dog in care of somebody to handle out the orders, so the dog gets treated with caviar every day or whatever.
Look, dogs
Angels.
dogs are
Angels.
amazing. So
Merry
But
Christmas
do you have
anyway,
a
everybody, by the way.
caviar dog there, Liminal?
you could have
Hey,
messed
Angels.
that. You could have DM'd that, Liminal.
Angels,
So-
did you see in the Ontario area the Bell building being abandoned? The
Oh, it's a
company
big,
Bell.
awful. It's an awful thing.
I
What
want
are
to
you gonna
move
do?
into that.
So
Oh, yeah,
what
the
is
liminal
America?
spaces? Yeah. Well, there you go, Tail. You've been sidelined by a spotting of a Ontario liminal space.
Yeah, that is
One guy
liminal spaces
yesterday,
in that
he
building.
couldn't imagine things at all in his head, and we talked about that. And what did they coin?
Yeah. So
that as?
what is America?
What is America? I mean, Iconoclast, he understands the idea about tribes very well. What is
Yeah, he does. He's just very bad at describing it and explaining it. You did a much better job, Blackout.
And just because you don't like the way I say things doesn't mean I'm bad at explaining them. It means that you're not good at understanding.
That wasn't an
people
invitation
explain
for
things
you
nuance.
to pipe
Yeah,
in,
I
by
don't
the
care.
way.
I don't care, Kale. You're not going to tell me what I can and can't say. Thanks.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, all right. So all right,
Have
you did
fun,
take a
guys.
jab right there, Tail. I understand. Okay, all right, let's move on. So, yeah, I mean, it's tribes. So what is America? Is America a tribe? Can we say that there's some level at which America is a tribe, that everyone has responsibility to the country, at least on some level?
Well, that's what I was trying to point out before, is that naturally, people like tribes are. I don't think a tribe. Well, it only extends to that level when there's an external threat. So if someone's attacking, and I think you brought this up before, that when someone's attacking America, yeah, we will take care of our own.
Well, not
We
everybody.
will.
I mean, I agree with you. Like, all right, so at the level of the nation state, United States, okay, collectively, it becomes a tribe when attacked by a foreign power. But even in that situation, there are some who are like, fuck that, let the poor guys get drafted. We're going to get deferments or do something else. Someone else is going to die so I can benefit from the security and safety provided by military forces. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what the hell does it mean to be a citizen of this nation?
Well, I think that we're intentionally at least pseudo-balkanized through federalism and states' rights. So the tribe is a collective. If the United States is a tribe, it is a meta tribe, which is an amalgamation of sub tribes, which is also an amalgamation of sub tribes, because states are broken down into geographic locality, ideological boundaries, these kind of things, right? To somebody's earlier point, urban areas vote blue and rural areas vote red. It just seems to be the case, meaning it's tribalism all the way down to the individual level. Well, not to the individual level, but to the family unit level. At its core, I think tribes are comprised of the smallest possible group, which is a family.
Yeah, or even yeah, you said like an individual, and the individual extends to family and so forth. I'm going to give the quote from Scarface that people aren't familiar with. They said in that movie, America is like a great big pussy just waiting to get fucked. And end quote. And so it is a great film, so much truth in it. Now, yeah, it just seems that everyone just wants a piece of what they can get out of this. America has
They want a piece of your pie.
it has favorable geography and resources, and it has a lot of material wealth, a lot of wealth of different forms, and everyone wants a piece. I mean, when we talk about the welfare issue earlier, hey, some people don't want to pay into that. Why pay for somebody else who's sick or has special needs? I mean, that's the kind of greed. But then they want something from the country. They want a different kind of welfare. They want a corporate welfare. They want some hookups from the government, that which comes from the people. It's parasitic, in other words, Tail. It's just a bunch of people being parasites, but yet there are some who don't get the message, and because they're good people and they believe in something greater than themselves, say, no, I believe in America. I signed up to go to Iraq and fight a war for my country. They bought into that. Okay. It's not that they're dumb or they're bad people or anything like that, but they believe in something greater than themselves. But that they live amongst people who don't. And they don't care on top of that. That's the interesting part. They're like, well, I don't give a shit if my neighbor doesn't give a shit about this country. I do. That's what they say. I find that surprising.
I can sense the greed and everything else in this country, and I don't like it.
Well, what are you going to do?
And how awful people are, how switchy people are, and
You put in a limit. Can't have any more than
I know,
X
like
dollars.
marriage isn't sacred anymore.
Marriage.
Yeah,
What's
it's the
marriage
big
got to do
problem
with
we
it?
have in this country right now. It's the marriage and sacred. That's definitely the
Marriage is
biggest
sacred.
problem,
If you
bro.
Women
knock
and
her up,
wives
you're
isn't.
going to have
That's
some
definitely the
problems.
biggest problem we have, bro. Yeah.
Oh.
Keep convincing
Probably
yourself
get
of that.
married if you
All
knock her
problems
up.
start in the family unit. It all comes from your family. Whatever
But
problems you
guys,
got,
it
you got
takes
them
a
for them.
village to raise a
Where
family now. You
who
don't do it
told you
with just
that?
mom and dad.
It's just
Wasn't
not
it the
true.
case? Wasn't it the case that Socrates, did he not fight as an Athenian hoplite? It didn't matter who the fuck you were. Okay. When the time came, you grabbed the sword, you grabbed the shield, and everybody protected the city state.
Bro, fuck are you doing talking about this on Discord? You're in a Discord call talking about taking your sword and shields. Holy
Yeah, we're having a
shit.
conversation about.
It's embarrassing, man.
Okay, I mean that's fine. You don't have to contribute.
No,
to this.
you know what's embarrassing? There's some people out there, when it comes time to protect your country or your family, these people run away. Okay, that's who they are.
Well, but that's not
Well,
the family.
why
That's
should you care? Why should you care about
Why should you even talk in here, you bitch? Take a red mic and leave.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Aw.
See, we're talking about contribution, right? He doesn't want to contribute to the conversation. Why should he take up airtime in here? He's like a person who wants to take from the channel but not give back.
parasitic.
He's a parasite. That's exactly. He's a conversational parasite, and he gets the red mic. The same way we put like tax evaders in prison, or draft dodgers in jail, or they should be in jail. Or so these type of ideas. Like, what does it mean to be a part of this so-called tribe called America? And so, this is an interesting question.
Very interesting.
So, Melissa, do you think that there should be some type of civic duty, something that people can do to be a part of this nation, have like to be able to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems logical. It shouldn't even have to be something too strict or crazy, like maybe a little bit of community service every 4 years, like something simple. Maybe go to a library and read books to like, underprivileged children or something, anything. You could do it. You could volunteer somewhere or whatever. Maybe donate some
like a
money.
stakeholder, like a stakeholder democracy, some skin in the game that says that
Yeah.
you are a citizen of this country and you are vested in its interest, and you have the ability to input the direction of the country that you see best. But I think that you're right. You should demonstrate that you have the best interests of the country at heart when you're making that vote. So yeah, I think some sort of stakeholder democracy
Yes,
is
I
a
really
great
like
idea.
that phrase.
Universal suffrage is horrible.
Although you were accused of being unarticulate, I think that you nailed it with the phrase skin in the game. People should have some skin in this game. I agree. Otherwise, it's just parasites getting other people to pay or die.
Well, not to be too scientific about it, but we're being really anthropomorphic about the wonders of the majesty of the universe in which we've are just a speck of.
Well, to your point, Blackout, I think that even looking at the
Hey, Cal.
founding of this country, you can see that the founding fathers even didn't intend for there to be universal suffrage. It wasn't that way until what, the mid 1900s, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Point
the early
being,
1900s. Yeah, 1918, somewhere around there.
yeah, I think they
Men
all
got
right
the
into
right
the
to
law
vote
that
20 years before women.
universal suffrage is a terrible idea. I think that we can see, and I think that we can see how bad of an idea it is when it maps into reality, because now we have 18-year-old kids with blue hair who've never worked a job, still live at home, don't pay taxes, probably on some sort of
Yeah, they're
government
confused
handout,
about their
canceling out the
sexuality.
vote of somebody who might be a business owner. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, if you've never paid taxes, if you've never done anything for the country, why should you be able to decide the direction of that country? It makes no sense to me.
Exactly. I mean, when is that the case in any other scenario? Think about it. I mean, does a non-shareholder get to decide like the course of a business? No. But that's what
I
you do
walk
with the
into
United States.
Yeah, can I walk into your house and tell you how the house should operate as a guest, as somebody who's not put anything into that household?
Exactly.
Should you have to have a certain IQ before you can vote?
I don't think that's a terrible idea.
Well, Tom takes that would be racist. Okay.
Oh, there goes the atheists.
I wasn't going down the racist channel, but okay.
Well, the left will accuse you of being a racist because this will disqualify like some minority groups, depending on where you set the IQ bar.
Gotta love that bigotry of low expectation.
Yep. Then we get into Semitism, and at root, we recognize there is no Jew, or Greek, or man, or woman, and the covenant is open for everyone, including the Gentiles. So it's a null point. Thank you. Try again.
It's only racist to talk about IQ when you point out who has a low IQ, but it's not racist to talk about who has the highest IQ and point out that Asians as a group score higher. That's not racist.
That makes sense.
No, I can. I feel like it's just it's like the people who get out of China. Those are the smart ones. Okay.
It's told that it's racist to say that.
No, don't you be ignoring my message in the side chat.
Well, I don't know about that, Black. I think I'm old enough to remember
You're breaking up again,
saying that certain
You're breaking up again.
Reconnect. Run faster, jump higher, these kind of things. That's also racist.
Yeah, no, I heard you. I got enough of that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, when you watch, well, if anybody ever watches any sports on any of the mainline channels, you are going to hear commentators, praise athletes on racial basis for why some are just like awesome at what they do, and that's okay for some reason, to point out a racial basis for, their success.
They couldn't trade.
Can we get an
Start
update
trading.
on Skylar? Because he wants to chime in on this so-called stopping people from vote. Actually, I'm not for stopping. I want everybody to vote, but I think everyone should contribute to the nation, not be a parasite. That's
But the thing is, people should also be educated to what they're voting on. That's what I'm trying to get at by IQ. Like,
Well,
you shouldn't
Tom,
just be voting on.
I
Oh,
think
this, I like
Skylar
this
would
guy.
agree with you.
Yes, Tom. Half the population is under average IQ. We get it.
Just a second, because these guys kind of jumped in on top of you for a second. I'm sure you would agree with me, Skylar, that some of these top CEOs of the country, maybe they should do some community service. Maybe they should do a little bit more. Maybe some of their children should also serve in the military, all right? And not just be sucking up. Okay, elaborate. No, not for money. No. Okay, so what's being held here is because you physically exist within a particular border. Okay, you should have a say in what goes on in those borders. That's really what it amounts to.
Can I push back a little bit on this?
You're all a bunch of lazy ass motherfuckers. That's all I gotta say.
That's right, Snow.
Exactly. So the problem there, Skylar, is when people vote based on what their daddy and what their granddaddy voted, and that's all they vote on, and they're not going to educate themselves as to what the right course of action is for the country. They're just going to vote. Oh, my daddy voted like this, or my great granddaddy voted like this. I'm just going to keep voting like this. Doesn't matter. That's where I see the problem, right? And that's where I say like the voter IQ needs to be somewhat, I don't know, educated as to what they're even voting on.
Why do you think IQ would stop that?
Or to that same point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you get something called a dictatorship.
Oh, Farms, why are you talking? I mean, this is Discord. Isn't that embarrassing? What are you talking about, dude?
What are you talking about?
So So Iconoclast, I think you triggered Skylar when you brought up. Hold on.
He's right though.
Yo, he about to wild out, son. Yo.
What?
I know you did.
He made a good point.
If it's not true, then why you spazzing? Okay. So I'll rephrase. Calm down, dude. Calm down. All right, Iconoclast. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we'll rephrase. Iconoclast. It seems that Skylar disagrees, and I think what prompted this disagreement was you pointing out the purple-haired gender bending, parasite lump in the basement. Okay, he wants the purple-haired gender bending. He wants that person to vote.
Purple-haired, transgender, 80-year-old woman, cat lady. I don't know.
You actually believe that purple-haired transgender 80-year-old woman are the problem of this in this country? You've just fallen for propaganda. That's all you've fallen for.
Okay,
It's not an actual thing that exists.
Yeah, I would like.
Hold on, guys, chill. Hold on a second.
I would.
Skylar, how do we go about educating the public on what they're voting for?
Yeah. That's what education. You're talking over everybody. That's what education is supposed to be for, Tom. But obviously, our education system is failing, Skylar. Oh, I didn't know that they said Skylar answered the question. It's a question to the room, you fuck knuckle.
It's just babies right now.
To be fair, I did ask Skylar.
I didn't bring them. Iconoclast did. I said Iconoclast talked about the basement dwelling, purple haired gender bender, et cetera, et cetera.
Have you actually ever met someone like that?
Okay, they roam the streets. I try to avoid them, but that's a different
Just
topic.
say, have you ever actually talked to someone like
because,
that?
Hold on, comment. Because Iconoclast brought this person up as somebody to disenfranchise, okay, and has to say, you know what, this person shouldn't be a voter because they're not a contributor to this country. Skylar got disagreement with that. Okay, I would say triggered, but whatever. He got.
I've met them before. Oh, hell no.
I mean, I think the system could be reformed. Not necessarily. I mean, I don't think either one of those, like, in other words, a for-profit doesn't mean problems, or it doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean that.
Innovation. No, healthcare. Healthcare being for profit fuels innovation. No, but you brought up for profit systems, right?
Yeah.
And Goss, you said it. Okay. And listen, you won't want a single payer system in a country with 50 states, 50 different regulations on medicine. You won't like. It's not meta, dude. Then you should. Like you're gonna say, oh, a lot of people that argue for it say it works in Europe, it works in Singapore, it works in Taiwan. It's not gonna work in a country full of 50 states. There's just way too much going on. It's way too fragmented. No, I don't want to get into it, but
Well, not necessarily. So look, either way you go, whether you go with like a government system or you go with a for-profit system, either one of them can be, because your question poses a false dichotomy. It does. Right. Yeah. And that's fine.
Well, let's
Can I answer?
Can we get back to the actual topic at hand?
Well, I would say if we let the pharmaceutical companies make a lot of money, they'll make more products and better products.
Is that really the argument?
So y'all
Who owns most of the medical patents in the world? In Europe, even the USA.
Skylar, what's the system in which people don't die if it's practiced?
How does this have anything to do with?
You said people die. Wow. You said I just lost what man. You just
Well,
said
you guys are arguing two different things too. You're talking about insurance and then big pharmaceutical companies, which are different.
yeah, he's saying the medical system what?
yeah, that's a problem. Like,
Yeah,
think everyone-
I would say that the insurance companies are not necessarily the issue. It's the pharmaceutical companies that are overcharging. That's where the problem lies.
Is it illegal to not have insurance, or is that like a lie?
Well, it depends on
basically allowed-
which company you're using and what type of insurance you're using as well. Okay, well, they have FSA plans that help where people can take money out of their checks and save that and put it aside for medical problems later on. There's nothing wrong with
it
that.
allows gospel. Okay, I was gonna respond. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Cosmo, go ahead. I was gonna respond to your first question, but Snow.
Now you're playing victim, dude. Calm down, man.
No, I was adding to what Snow was saying because I wanted to respond to your initial point. And if you were speaking, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Cosmo,
So
I'm letting
I
you
don't know
have the
how we
floor.
got to the health insurance thing.
You didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. I was gonna respond to that point.
Yo, yo, bro, what's wrong with this dude, son?
Hey,
Oh,
don't
you a wild
being
dude,
triggered. They
son.
merely disagree.
Yo, that's some gay ass shit, son. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Cosmo, health
Yeah.
insurance. Health insurance allows healthy and people that can afford. I was responding to your initial point.
Why are we even talking about this instead of voting the way that this conversation started?
So let's go back to the
a complete side
conversation because this isn't going anywhere.
That's right. Okay, so
Fine, let's
anyways,
move on.
Tyler has like a limited shelf life. You know, he ends up imploding eventually. Yeah, the topic was really basically on enfranchising, and so should the purple-haired basement-dwelling gender bender who does absolutely nothing vote and decide how this country goes? That was kind of the thing that Iconoclast laid down.